Every year, 2.36 billion per year they sell. Who? What? McDonald's. They sell 2.36 billion burgers per year. Does this mean they're the best burger out there? No. I've got 4 or 5 burger chains around me that make a better burger. Heck, I make a better burger. But what are they doing that everybody else is not doing? They're constantly advertising. Why do they do this? So you don't forget who they are. What's the strategy? Loud, clear voice, right? So you don't forget who they are, and repetition. That's how they make sure you know they're the best, subjectively. Objectively, no, there's a place down the road. Best burger ever. But they're small. They don't have that voice. So nobody knows who they are. It's the same thing with the structured interview. First of all, there's 2 types of interview, structured and unstructured. People don't usually use the unstructured anymore. So CBP uses a structured interview. So what does that mean? It means that they're going to ask candidate 1, 2, 3, up to 10 the same questions. There's not going to be any deviation or variances. They're not going to ask one guy one thing and lady another thing. No, they're going to ask the same people the same questions. Structured interview. It has a structure to it. Now, they're looking for competencies, right? There's 3 kinds of competencies typically we look for, right? There's going to be first your core competencies, okay? Then there's going to be your technical competencies. Then there's going to be your behavioral competencies, okay? So of those 3, they take out the technical competencies because that is something you learn from being on the job. And they know you're not on the job yet, right? So they're not even going to use that. But they are going to use core competencies, and they're going to use behavioral competencies, of course, right? The core competencies are your communications, your teamwork, and always the I word, guys, always your integrity. They are really looking for that. So sometimes people say, why is integrity such a big deal? Well, it's important where in any asset of life, right? You got to have integrity. But CBP, Border Patrol, LEO, those jobs have to have people who are following an integrity-filled life because they are susceptible to bribery, right? To blackmail, to things like that. So they have to have integrity. The other one is behavioral competency. So things like your traits or habits that influence your job performance, right? Behavioral, if you have to work at 6 o'clock every morning, but you sleep in every day to 9 o'clock, it's not going to be a very good behavior you have. So that's not going to be a good deal to figure out with you, right? It's not going to be a good fit for you, obviously, right? Behavior, do you handle pressure well, right? That's your behavior. Are you thin-skinned? If you can't handle be called names sometimes, whether that be racial or sexist or whatever it is out there, if you cannot handle that, it's not the job for you, right? So the behavioral competencies, they ask those type questions to assess whether or not you will fit into that environment. That's why they ask those kind of questions. It's a structured interview. So if we go further down this line, what the structured interview is designed to ferret out of you, to figure out about you, right? It's designed for sound judgment. They want to see how you handle situations, right? In a sound, smart, logical way. Understand? They also are going to ask you about things that will bring out your behavioral, your behaviors, how you react to things, right? They've been doing this for years. So they know what's going on. They know how to ask a question, and they know what they want to hear from you. Understand? This is a huge issue because you have to be prepared for these type of questions. Not that you have to make it up, but you have to be prepared to answer those questions. Another one too is going to be emotional maturity. Again, you see sometimes on YouTube or these videos out there, they're showing LEO, Border Patrol, whatever, going off sometimes. They just go crazy sometimes. They get mad sometimes. They lose their cool, right? We're all human. We get that. But in the uniform, you have to show the emotional maturity. And the questions at the interview will bring that out. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second. This is why my pre-test and the link below for the exam is important, because there are questions in the pre-test in the exam that will make sure you have a darn good chance of passing the actual exam. And also understand, many questions in the exam carry over into the interview in the situational phases that judge your emotional maturity, your sound judgment, your decision making, and things like that. That's what it's all about. They're also looking for sensitivity, because not everyone who comes up to the border is a guy with 15 guns and wants to do some bad stuff to you or the country. Sometimes people have true situations that require someone with a little bit of empathy. Not saying you have to do your job, but I'm saying you have to understand there is a need for some empathetic response to a person's situation. And they're looking for that too as well. So, at the interview phase, the structured interview, this is why it's important you prepare yourself before you just go in there and start answering questions. It takes practice, right? I have a video there for the interview for you as well that shows you how to prepare for the interview. I'm also going to start up a thing in the next 7 to 10 days where I'm going to have you guys able to contact me personally, and I'm going to interview you. If you're interested in something like that, hit the link below or hit the comment below and say, hey, you know what? I am interested in being interviewed by you first, and I will make sure I do that for you. Now, the structured interview is really designed to ferret out who you are. You're going to have a panel of 3 or 4 CBP, Border Patrol, whoever's there for you, right, to talk to you. But the interview itself is created by psychologists, it's created by Border Patrol personnel. It's done for a reason, to figure out who the heck this person is in front of us, who you are, right? And this takes practice to understand how this works. Here's what I want to tell you. If you don't pass the interview phase of the test, about 20% of people don't pass the interview phase of the test. The exam, over 52% don't pass that. So you have 48% going into the interview now, right? Of that, 20% won't pass. Even if you don't pass, you can come back and do it again in 6 months, okay? So it's not a, oh my gosh, deal, all right? Quick story here, had John, talked about 2 years ago, it's been a while now. He failed the interview portion of his test. Him and I were on the phone twice doing Zoom interviews. I hammered him, boom, boom, hammered him a lot. He waited his 6 months, went there, took the interview, he passed that time. So what was the difference? The difference is that he was like McDonald's. The difference is that he was not like McDonald's. He was that little burger joint out there in the corner. Great burger joint, but no one knew about it because they don't know how to advertise their skill set, who they are, what they represent, their competencies, all that stuff, right? John was like that, all right? He had the skills, didn't know how to say it properly, didn't know how to advertise himself. And that's the deal. So if you don't pass, I don't want you to feel bad or think you're not smart or whatever. It's not about that. It's about learning to speak and represent yourself, right? I do and have done public speaking for over 20 years. My first year of public speaking, it stunk. I don't know why people even pay me. It was terrible, right? But it takes practice. Same thing with you. Your skill set takes practice to get out of your body, to say to people, to look relaxed when you do it, to look confident, right? But calm. All that takes practice. If you just go from your test into the interview without without practicing, you're going to have a hard time passing the interview because it has a design behind it. Understand? There's a reason why it is the way it is. You guys are really doing well out there. I get emails from you all the time, phone calls, comments. I get it all. And I'm so proud to be part of your process and your journey. That's what I'm here for. Stacy was asking me a little bit ago, she says, why do I do this? Well, guys, I'm older now, right? And I have a career. I'm happy with my career, but I want to pay it forward now. That's why I'm at in the point of my life. It's called legacy building, right? What we want to leave behind. I want to help people. That's what I want to leave behind. At first is I want to help one person. And then when I hit 50 people, I was like, wow. Then I hit 200 people. Wow, right? Now I'm at over 700 people who have helped through the process the past 5 years. I'm very proud of that, So I want to keep helping people. Your first step, really, if you haven't even understood this process yet, your first step in this whole process, turn in your application, and then take my exam below. it's going to be very important for you to take that exam because you're going to understand immediately what's going on with the exam plus the interview. It's a twofold, 2-for-1, right? But the exam must come first to understand where you are. It's going to be helpful because it is an exam not meant to keep you, because the exam is realistic. It's the most realistic mirror-like exam to the real exam. That's why I want you to take it, all right? If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. Please subscribe and like. I'd really appreciate that. You guys take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.